would like to inform you of a story that I heard, and it so happens to be in a small apartment and in Phoenix, Arizona. You see, in probably the early 80s, I would say, was this apartment. At the time was named Sky Harbor. Sky Harbor Apartments was in Phoenix, Arizona, and there was a man who offered these 3 girls to the apartment, and the 3 girls decided they were going to do a seance, and the seance was done, and upon leaving, some crazy things happened. You see, when the seance was finished, the girls got up and they had done a circle of salt and the Ouija board in the center. Well, unfortunately, everybody had left except for one girl, and as she got up, she accidentally kicked the salt. And they could see that she had done this, and she had fell back into the apartment and died. They don't honestly know why she died, but this exact apartment, I believe, was cursed. And I've heard it from the grapevine. Best way to say is, it's my apartment. Or was my apartment. When my partner and I lived here, it was very welcoming. The people were welcoming, at least at first. And then some other things were happening in the apartment. I had an older phone at the time, and I took a picture of our TV. And upon the picture in the TV, it showed up a face or a man leaning over the mirror that's like a glass mirror, sliding mirror to our closet. And the face showed up. Come to find out that this person died in the apartment. He had hung himself. A couple of other places in this place, the one where he hung himself was buried in the bathroom, and it's very disturbing that this could have happened to anyone, why they would do such a thing. But another man in the same apartment that we were living in, or was living in at the time, was really sick, but he was annoying to everybody. They said he would bang on the walls and make a lot of noise, and he died right in front of the door. Unfortunately, it was 3 or 4 weeks before anybody had known that this had happened, even though they could smell the stench. They really didn't seem to care at all. So this whole complex that I am talking about is at the time was Sky Harbor Inn. I don't even know if it's still standing, but I do want y'all to know that this place was haunted. There were several people that I had talked to during the time I was living there that mentioned spirits showing up in their house, their family acting weird as they were doing things. They would suddenly start ranting and raving, and total change of personality. There is also a woman I know that she would be so sweet, and then all of a sudden she would flip. Like, she was so normal at first, and then her whole personality. A boy in which was staying here, I guess I could say he's a boy, he was in his early 30s, 20s when he first got here, 30s. Last time I saw him, he was staying in this apartment that had a lot of strange things happening. It wasn't that way at first, and it took time to gradually progress. He said that there was bugs flying around. He would see shadow figures around the room. He couldn't sleep. He'd get very depressed. Anxiety would kick in. swear people were talking on the other side of the wall, dragging from the bottom of the floor, and he's on the top floor, whispering while he was trying to sleep. 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning, he was whispering. There was also the shadow figures at 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. So these incidents were almost all the time, and he had been there for a year before they had started happening. So we are not sure what exactly transpired from there. There's also a woman that her husband had gotten in a car accident, and she was being possessed. Afterwards, she was, not he. And they're not exactly sure what actually happened. I guess they did bring in an exorcist at a certain time, and believed that a demon had attached to him, and then because it couldn't take control of him, attached to her because she was weaker at the time. So there's a lot of different stories here, and if you'd like to know more, like, subscribe, share, and be sure to inform me of your stories, and be sure to check out my new book, which is released on Amazon. It is called Confession of a Teenage Medium. It is based on little pieces of my life starting as a teenager in high school, and little bits and pieces throughout. If you would like me to write some more books, or even read short stories from my book, I'd be more than willing. So thank you so much for watching, and if you are interested in any more stories, please let me know. Like, subscribe, share.